Hi, it's Greg Schnell, and I'm here with your Daily 5. So first of all, I want to talk about the relative rotation graph. What this does is it tries to make the S&P 500 as the center point of this, and what you want to follow is stocks that are heading or industry groups that are heading northeast. So XLF is a good example. XLY is a good example. XLK is dropping a little bit. It could turn and go higher, but I'm kind of focused on this XLI starting to work up here, and XLI rotating on the positive side of momentum, or on the positive side of the relative strength ratio is a good thing, but it's not really kind of the one where I think we're going to get the most pop. So I'm looking here and I'm looking on XLY. I'll worry about XLB if it can actually start to rotate above into improving. And XLE shows things getting better, like it's heading north, but it's not heading northeast yet. But it is staying on the positive side of relative strength. So it's been improving. It's starting to improve, but keeping its relative strength compared to the S&P 500 positive. So it's worth watching. Right now, I want to wait for the charts to prove themselves. And one of the reasons for that is the earnings in the second quarter are going to be higher than the earnings in the third quarter because crude oil was hovering, let's say, around 110 and now it's around 90. That $20 difference is a big change. So we want to make sure that we're focused on stuff where growth is starting to come in. So I do like XLF here. I do like the XLY, and if we can start to see some of those improve, that's an area for me that I'd really like. Now, the first chart I've got as an actual stock here is Goldman Sachs. And what is the reason I want to bring Goldman to the table? Looking at the PPO indicator here, the momentum indicator, Goldman Sachs has had a downtrending momentum for over a year, going back to March 2021, really at the SPAC highs. And now it's started to break that downtrend, and we're right around zero. So if the whole economy rolls over here, I expect this to roll over as well. But if things do start to fire up in the next couple of weeks, I really like this chart shape on Goldman, and I wouldn't mind seeing something like we saw out of the October timeframe back in 2020. That was actually when we had the vaccine announcements, and it was also the election. So I'm expecting this a little bit early here. I want to see this start to pop, and we've got two good catalysts. One is we'll have had the Fed meeting in early September or mid-September, I believe, and we also have options expiration. So I'm looking for both of those to kind of be anchor points late next week, and if that happens, then I think we could move up and out of here. So I'm watching for that. We also have an uptrend in relative strength that's 3 or 4 months old here, and Goldman has actually outperformed the S&P 500 going all the way back to the beginning of the year. Now, that just means it's dropped less than the S&P 500, but still what I'd like to see is the price action, the scooter ranking for Goldman actually start to get into top quartile and run up there for a while. So I'm watching all of these kind of variables on this chart to see if we can get a kick higher and see if that can start to move. The next chart I've got is Lululemon, and Lululemon, I'm sitting here with a pair of Lululemon pants on, but the gentleman's area of Lululemon is really helping the men's clothing line. And the one thing that I want to say here is look at the volume spike that we had last week, and I've got a trend line drawn in here. Basically, the highs in the NASDAQ back in November were almost a year later. And this trend line, it's sitting based on the closing prices, not just on the peak here in April. But again, if all of a sudden heading into the fourth quarter, Lululemon can take off to the upside, this is a pretty positive place on the chart. We do have the scooter ranking getting back up into the top area, which suggests the stock's price action is better than 88% of the stocks out there, and improving is what I really like. So it's gone up from 50 to 88%. That's a pretty nice push. And then so other stocks are falling away, and at this point, Lulu's holding up. And so it's that change in behavior that I really like. The relative strength has been dropping, and I like the fact that right now on this earnings, we started to pop out of the downtrend. So Lulu was trending higher for the last 3 months. Now all of a sudden it's breaking out to the upside. It's broken the big downtrend, and a little bit of a push up here, and it would be outperforming the S&P 500 on the year. Heading into the fourth quarter, it's also in consumer discretionary, so that's one of the groups that is starting to head over into leading. So I'm looking for Lulu to be one of those stocks that could lead us out of the hole. I'm recording this on Tuesday night, and Lulu's already up 4% on the week. So I do think there's some buyers that are willing to step in here, and we've also got Lulu just trying to get above the 40-week moving average. This looks like a nice setup for me. And again, if everything goes well for the overall stock market, I know some people have trouble with that, but if this does start to pop, I expect this PPO to go into positive territory. And you can see when Lulu does that, that's a pretty good place to be involved. This one is a furniture company, and they IPO'd in November. Not really great timing, but they came out and the stock IPO'd, let's call it $12 or $13. And as it did, it rolled all the way down to $4. That's pretty rough. But recently it's had a gap up, and it's held the gap and flagged out here. And now it's starting to break the downtrending flag. So I like it. I also like that the momentum in the stock is the best momentum we've seen since the IPO start. And with that push, look at the relative strength here. This is really starting to lead. It's picking up to be one of the better stocks in the last 6 months here. So all of this suggests to me that this is a pretty compelling story. I don't have any feel for the furniture area. What I am surprised at is this stock's doing so well while home builders, mortgage finance, and all that is pulling back. So it does make me wonder why this is so good. But this breakout here, I would like to see that continue, and I think that's a nice entry. Enphase. This is renewable energy equipment, and the stock has had one of the nicest chart patterns on it that we see over time. Now, the real caveat here is that it does break higher. So if the overall economy spits lower, this chart could break with the rest of them. But it's one of the top ranked stocks, 99.7%. It's behaving better than most stocks out there. Sitting up around all-time highs, it's been flagging sideways. You can see it here for 7 weeks. And so you have this real tall pole, then you have what we call this high tight flag where it just sits up here. And then once it breaks out from here, this is a very bullish look. I like the fact that the momentum has been improving over the last 6 months, even while the overall stock market has been falling. So this has been fighting that trend. The stock's about a $300 stock, and anything, I think, any sort of breakout, and if the general economy starts to improve, I would expect this stock to kind of make a big move out of this 2-year base and hopefully do what it did in 2020. So that's another reason I like it. Also, if you've got any questions about what we do at ospreystrategic.org, we'll be doing a special presentation on September the 20th. And if you follow Canadian Technician on the StockCharts blog, you'll be able to find it there. Or if you head over to Osprey Strategic, I'll have some directional information taking you into where you could register for that event. But what I want to talk about right now, my Schnell Strength Index is currently bottoming at around 16%, and all three of them are down in the bottom zone for those that understand what they are. Again, I'll be explaining those on the video, but when they start to turn up, we want to be involved in this market. There's a lot of good things that would come out of a chart shape for where we're at. So with all of that, hopefully some of these setups give you an idea of the things we're looking at and why we're looking where we are. There's quite an opportunity. But with that, thanks for taking the time to watch. And just again, think about the Fed meeting, options expiration, roughly 10 days out here. And as that kind of rolls through, if the market can pop out of there, I think we could have a nice fourth quarter. So with that, thanks everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Hey guys, Dave Keller here with StockCharts.com. Thanks so much for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, and we hope you did, hit the like button right below. Also, we have so much new content every day. Consider subscribing to the channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the video or right below. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Have a fantastic day.